let's talk about one of the most incredible ideas in all of human history, actually building a self-sustaining city on Mars. And I'm not talking about centuries from now. I'm talking about doing it in just 25 years. And then we're going to look at how that amazing achievement almost guarantees the first interplanetary war.
So you're probably asking, how on earth is something that massive possible so fast? Well, the first thing you have to do is forget that old romantic picture of pioneers in covered wagons. The model for Mars isn't like the slow, human-led Western expansion. No way. It's a completely different playbook. A fast, super efficient industrial rollout that's done almost entirely by robots.
Okay, so let's get into the how. And this isn't some vague dream either. It's a detailed engineering plan. The whole 25-year construction timeline is broken down into 4 distinct, super-fast phases. This is literally the blueprint for creating a civilization from nothing.
Now, what's so cool about this timeline is that very first phase. For the first 3 years, it's just robots. That's it. They land, they set up power, they start mining for water ice, and they start building the habitats, all before a single human being even arrives. This robotic vanguard is the secret sauce. They work 24/7, guided by AI, and they make everything else possible at this mind-blowing speed. So after all that robotic groundwork is laid, the humans finally show up. By year 7, we hit this huge milestone, a permanent population of 200 people. And these aren't just tourists. They are the first real Martians. They're living and working in habitats built deep underground, totally safe from solar radiation, creating the first ever human-robot hybrid civilization. And then, things just take off. Just 8 years later, by year 15, the population explodes to 10,000. This is the big one. This is the tipping point where the settlement stops being a little science base and becomes a real, functioning city. It has its own industrial sector, making stuff on Mars for Mars. And at this point, its dependence on Earth just drops off a cliff. And finally, at the 25-year mark, we've done it. The goal is reached. The population is over 100,000, maybe even spread across a few connected cities. They're growing their own food, and they have unique Martian industries that are booming. This is not a colony anymore. This is the birth of a true, independent, extraterrestrial civilization.
Okay, so we've built the city. Awesome. But how does it pay the bills? Well, that brings us to the Martian economic engine. And you can just forget any idea you have about Mars being some kind of tourist trap for billionaires. The whole model is based on Mars becoming the industrial and logistics hub for the entire solar system.
So here's a look at the economic foundation. It's a really diverse economy built on 5 core, high-value industries. And notice what's not on there? Tourism. Yeah, that's a side hustle, at best. The real money is in space infrastructure, mining, advanced manufacturing, and even exporting intellectual property developed on Mars.
Let's zero in on the absolute killer app here: space infrastructure. You see, Mars has this massive, almost unfair advantage over Earth. Its gravity is only 38% as strong. That means launching anything into space is way, way cheaper and easier. It's basically a cheat code. So Mars inevitably becomes the solar system's main shipyard and gas station. All those future missions to Jupiter or the asteroid belt, they won't launch from Earth. They'll launch from Mars.
Now, this unique economic model creates a whole new kind of society. This isn't going to be a new America or a new China or anything like that. The cost is so insane and the need for speed is so great that this new world won't be built by governments. It's going to be built by corporations.
The term for this is a corporate civilization. And really, it's just born out of pure necessity. The investment is too big for any one country to handle, and the whole project has to move faster than government bureaucracy ever could. So corporations are going to take the lead. They'll build the infrastructure, they'll set the initial rules. Political systems, yeah, those will have to come later, built right on top of that corporate foundation.
So, we have this thriving, independent, corporate-run civilization on another planet. I mean, what an incredible achievement for all of humanity. But, you know, independence creates friction. And that friction leads us right into our final act, an inevitable fracture. And look, this isn't just some wild guess. This is based on a pattern we have seen again and again throughout all of human history. Once a colony becomes truly self-sufficient, it rarely stays a colony for very long. This right here lays out the depressingly predictable path from independence to conflict. First, you get ideological divergence. The first generation born on Mars just doesn't care about Earth's laws. They seem distant and irrelevant. Then that hardens into economic friction, fights over taxes, resources. After that comes military preparation. Both sides start building fleets for deterrence, which sounds a lot like the Cold War, right? And finally, all of this leads to a state of quasi-war, a constant tension with cyber attacks and blockades.
All of this is setting the stage for the next great rivalry in human history. And the main takeaway from all this analysis is that this conflict isn't just a possibility. Given the basic facts of distance and self-sufficiency, it's pretty much structurally inevitable.
In this quote, this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. The conflict between Earth and Mars won't be about good guys versus bad guys. It's not driven by hate or malice. It's a natural phenomenon, almost like a law of physics for human civilizations. When two societies are separated by that much empty space, and one of them can stand completely on its own 2 feet, their interests are simply destined to pull apart. So this incredible story of human achievement leaves us with one really profound question. After building a brand new world, after becoming a multi-planetary species, are we still destined to repeat our oldest, darkest patterns of conflict, even out there, among the stars?